In this video, I'd like to explain the difference between the binary and the decimal number system. So let's start with the decimal number system. Let's go with the number 1. Let me choose my color. Let's go with white. We have, let's say, 1, 7, 4, 4, 7. Yeah? So let's break this down into the individual parts. Okay? So we're going to divide it or break it down into, let's say, 5 types or 5 kind of numbers. We're going to break it down into ones. So I think I'll go with, we have a 10 to the power of 0. Now, this is simply 1, yeah? Then we will look at how many tens are in the number. Yeah, so these are tens, these are ones, these are tens. Then we look at the hundreds, so 10 to the power of 2, hundreds. Then we look at thousands, which is 10 to the power of 3. And lastly, we will look at the 10,000s, which we write using 10 to the power of 4. So those are 4 zeros. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 thousands. Okay, so let's break this number down. Now the question is, how many ones do we have? So this is the first number. Yeah, so how many do we have? And we exactly have 7. So we can write that down as 7 times this number. Yeah, 10 to the power of 0. So let's go with the orange. So 10 to the power of 0 is the first one. Now I'll use a plus sign. And now we will go to the second number. Now let's look at the second number. The second number we see is 4. Now it is definitely not 4, it is 4t, right? Because it's 4, 0. Now we're jumping from the first number to the second one. So the one that has the power to the 1. Now, how many times do we have this? We have 4 times, and we will write this one down, and we continue. Yeah, how many times do we have hundreds? Now we have 4 hundreds right here. Yeah, we look here. This we have 4 hundreds. So right here we write down 4 times 10 to the power of 2. Now we continue on. How many thousands do we have? Now let's use a different color. Let's go with red. How many thousands do we have in this number? And we have 7,000, right? So right here, we write the number 7. We take the 10 to the power of 3, and that's our 7,000 in the decimal system. Now the last one, how many 10,000s do we have? And we can use, let's say, the purple color. And simply put, we have only 1/10,000. So we write down the number 1 times 10 to the power of 4. Yeah, this gives us the, let's say, the decimal, the breakdown of this number in the decimal number system. So let me just draw a line. So this was the decimal system. And I did, in fact, forget to write it. So this is the decimal system. Now, what does binary mean? So let's look at the binary. Binary. binary system. The idea is very similar, but the difference is that we now work not with tens, but with the number 2. 2 is a very special number because computers use either zeros or ones. 0 or ones. That's how a computer knows its information. Let's call this data. It's either a 0 or a 1. Now, we can write down any kind of number using the binary system. So, let's have a look. Let's say we have the number 1101. Now, what does this mean? I'll write down the base. Let's go with an orange. Yeah. So this is the base. So this is the base of 2. Before we had 10, now we have 2. Now, what does this mean? Yeah. So let's break this down. I will put 3 plus signs because, well, you'll very soon see what the number is. Now, let's go all the way from the right. We'll go from the right to the left. So we'll start here and we'll go towards the left. Yeah, here, here, and here. So let's start with the very first one that I can highlight. Let's go with this one. Yeah, we're going with the number 1. So number 1, we simply write it down here or all the way on the right. So that is 1 times 2, and the power is 0. Okay, that's all the way to the right. Now we write down this 0. This 0 we write down here, multiplied by 2. And the power right now is to the power of 1. So we're going 1 above that. Yeah, here we had 0. Here we have 1. We're continuing on. Let me choose a different color. Let's go with green. Now we're looking at this number. This is the number 1. Yeah, times. We go with our base number, which is 2. And I did mix up the colors, that I apologize. And now the power increased by 1. Okay, so we have 0, we have 1, and we have 2. And let's finish things up with the final number, which is again the number 1 right here. So right now I take this number, I write it here, I multiply it, and I put 2 to the power of 3. Now what is the result? Yeah, let's go with the white color. The result, this is the same as 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. This is the same as 2 times 2, which is 4. This is the same as simply 2, and anything to the power of 0 is 1. So what we have is we have 8 plus 4. This is 0 because anything times 0 is 0. And we have plus 1. So the result, this number, if we would write it using a computer in data points, is 13. And that's the basics of a numerical system and a binary system.